So, hello, we are here with Bernardo Monechi. So, a short presentation about yourself.
Okay, yes, thanks for the question, because I really like to talk about what I do at Sony CSL. I am an assistant researcher in Sony CSL, and I work mainly in the field of urban studies, tackle using a complex systems perspective. So what we do is to use tools coming from different fields, physics, statistical physics, machine learning, and then we applied it to data, trying to understand how citizens within cities behave and what is the development of cities from a more macroscopic point of view. So if you don't think about its components, but as a city as a whole, and what happens and how it develops in time related to what happens microscopically, so its inner elements. And I work on several projects actually that are not just scientific, but also very related with scientific, they are more divulgative. So we do that in museums and science fairs to talk about problems related with cities. I do a lot of platforms to explain to people about the problems related with cities and to make them understand how cities behave. That could be used also by urban planners. So I say that I tackle this problem from a very different amount of perspectives. And recently I've been working on this project, which I'm presenting here today, which is the 15-minute city platform, which is an instance of a larger platform, which is called whatif-machine, that I'm going to talk afterwards. And the 15-minute city platform is a way to assess how much a city is compliant with this new paradigm. It's not really new, but it's very important right now, the 15-minute city that has been promoted by Carlos Moreno, a physicist and a complex system scientist in Paris. And it suggested that after COVID-19, cities should be rethought in a different way, so that you don't want any more citizens to be able to travel very fast for very long distances, because in that way you have a lot of commuting, a lot of stress, a lot of diffuse people around the city. But you want the city to be conceived according to the proximity criterion. So meaning that each citizen should have all the kind of services, which are not just the essential one, but also the other ones related with leisure or other activities that are not strictly needed for your everyday life. They should be very close to you. At max 15 minutes on foot or by bike from your place. Besides that, the problem is that he wanted people to be able to participate to the process of reshaping their neighborhoods, so that you could always you have to monitor cities continuously with the aim of data to promote this to people, so that they can help decision makers to decide how the neighborhood should be developed. And so this platform starts from there. So it starts gathering a lot of data, which are either open or covered by GDPR, which because they are sensible data about individual movements within cities. And we built this platform that helps you to assess not just the city as a whole, how much it is compliant with this paradigm, but also different neighborhoods. So you can easily know from each point of the city which are the activities that you can reach in 15 minutes. For example, can reach in 15 minutes on foot or by bike schools, for example. Well, in some points, yes, but then there you don't have groceries, or you cannot reach your job easily if you live there. And that's pretty the concept, and it's still in development because there are other things we need to put in it, but it's already explorable online for everyone who wants to see how it works. Yeah.
So, can we have just a look to this concept we have behind us? Yeah. So.
Okay, so this is an example of a map of a city that we can build. Basically, we split the city in different areas, and we use them as unit of analysis. For each area, we know from GPS tracks or of mobile phones, the peoples that live there, where they go. And we have also data about the different kind of points of interest that you can reach. So schools, universities, grocery stores, pharmacies, hospitals, etc. And we use all this data to plus other data, which is the road network, which roads are accessible by bike, which one can be used by pedestrians, and we use it to compute how easily you can reach the different points from starting from the center of each unit of analysis. Okay, so for example, you see here you have all these blue areas, which is the center of Rome, and now we are considering moving by bike. And you see that the blue areas are those in which, on average, you can reach pretty easily everything that you need within a time of 15 minutes by bike. As you move towards the white areas, then you're around 15 minutes, and the red one are above. So they have a great lack of services, if you're moving by bike still, okay? There are a lot of services that you cannot reach. But look at what happens if you switch to moving on foot. So if you do that, you see that, yeah, the city has collapsed into the very city center. And this is very important, right? Because you cannot think that all the citizens together of every age, takes the bike. For example, young children, elderly, they really cannot apply, they cannot comply with this paradigm yet, in Rome at least, unless they live downtown. And you can know a little bit more with this platform, because of course you can break down the different places where you can go just by clicking on an area. Okay. 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 It worked. So if you click on an area, basically you see that you have the breakdown of the different things that you can reach. For example, this is a very lucky area downtown, in which either on foot, which is the red line, and by bike, you are always within the 15 minutes. See the 15-minute travel time. Okay, but what happens here? That work is never reachable within 15 minutes, either on foot or by bike, because no one works there. So they still have to commute to go there. And this is a huge amount of movement within the city. So you are compliant with a lot of things, but not that. We can argue that remote working could be a solution to this, but it still has to be applied on a massive scale, at least in this country. Yeah.
So thank you. And why it is so important, this kind of study?
Well, these studies are very important because it helps people and decision makers to understand the point at which you are and the development of an idea about the city. For example, here we see the 15-minute city, for example. But of course, you can think about many other things like public transportation or economic activities. These are things that can help you assess what the present is. We do also other things that are not yet implemented in the example I showed you before, which is the possibility to design scenarios. Because of course you can say, okay, my city is not compliant with the 15-minute city idea. What can I do to improve the situation? And you can think that you can make an interface and you can develop algorithms, for example, to help decision makers or people to know what are the effects of, for example, putting new bike lanes. So if I put new bike lanes, then I expect certain, and then they go in certain direction, I expect certain activities to be accessible, how more accessible they will be. And with this kind of tool, you can assess it quite easily. And it is very important to know and to make it easily explorable to the decision makers and the public. Yeah.
Okay. And before you mentioned the whatif-machine project. And I don't know, what are the other instances you have worked on?
Okay, well, another instance of the whatif-machine I've been working on for quite a while is Korean City, which is not a digital platform, but is more as a physical installation that it's still based on data and machine learning. And then we let people interact with the city, which is made of Lego bricks, and they can design their own city and see how it works. When you change things, like you put more jobs, or you put more green areas, or you put more public service, less public service, what happens in terms of produced garbage, salaries, etc. And then there are other very important instances of the whatif platforms which are related with COVID. So we've been working on with with this safety distance index platform that we actually use to help the public administration in Rome to plan the reopening phase after the first lockdown. That can be used to see to foresee how many people will take the bus or the metro lines if you enforce certain non-pharmaceutical measures like remote working, as seen before, or you close university, or you forbid people to go to the gym, for example. And you can all see how much the flux of people on public transport are affected by this. Another instance that I've been working on is said many years ago, but it's still there. It's Citychron, which based on public transportation entirely, and then you can see what happens if you build new metro lines within a city. It's quite fast, and you can see how much the speed at which you can move from an area to the rest of the city improves if you put new metros with a certain budget. And I think that that's it for now, but we are still developing new things, and I hope that they will be ready for the next exposition that we will make.
Okay, thank you. And who are the other collaborators on these projects?
Okay, well, it's not just me, of course. There are other people within the lab. There is Matteo Bruno that just joined the lab and will be working with me on these platforms. Then there is Vittorio Reto, of course, the director of the lab, which collaborates strictly quite a lot on the development of this project and the ideas that are behind it. Then we have people from Sapienza University of Rome that helps us. Claudio Chiappetta, which is a PhD student there. Bruno Campanelli, a postdoc there. So we have quite a lot of people that helped us for now to making these tools. But other ones are joining quite soon. So I guess there will be a boost in the way and the speed at which we produce these platforms.
Okay, so thank you. Everything was very interesting and really near to our life. So thanks. And we will, yes. And so now we will just pass to the other interviews, which will be the last one for today.